We'll today begin with module 2, which is transmission phenomena. In the first module, we had all basics about acoustics 1, starting with the definition. Then we have seen how the acoustic plane wave equation. Along with that, we have defined energy density, decibel scales, and so on and so forth, along with the problems. Now, in this, we will see that how a progressive plane wave in a fluid medium impinges. Okay, impinges means it will strike or hit on the boundary of a contiguous second medium. Now, contiguous means a common boundary. Okay, the second medium. What will happen then? A reflected wave will generate in the first medium and transmitted wave in the second medium. So, suppose I show you this case. Suppose this is my boundary. I will show in this fashion. Here also I will just show it. Suppose this is O and this is O dash, and we are talking x is equal to 0. Okay, so I will say this is my medium 1, this is medium 2. Okay, so this boundary has divided the one part into two parts. This is part 1 and part 2. So part 1 will say rho 1 C1 characteristic impedance and rho 2 C2 for the second part. So for such case, what I am trying to tell you, that whenever a progressive plane wave, it will hit the medium, what is going to happen? We will be able to observe a reflected wave. It will hit and reflect back, and this will be my transmitted wave. So what we need to understand first, that the ratio of their respective intensities and pressure amplitude of the reflected and the transmitted wave to those of the incident wave, these are depending on the characteristic impedances of these two medium. This is called as medium 1 and this is my medium 2. Fine. So in this case, what I suppose I say that my OO dash is the plane of the boundary between medium 1 and medium 2. Okay, medium 1 has got characteristic impedance rho 1 C1 and medium 2 has got characteristic impedance rho 2 C2. Now, this rho 1 and rho 2 are what? These are the basically undisturbed equilibrium densities of medium 1 and medium 2 respectively. Fine. Now, we will consider an incident plane wave to be traveling in medium 1 in the positive x direction. That is very important term, positive x direction, because x is equal to 0. So wave is passing over here. Okay, positive x direction, which in turn is at right angles to the plane of the boundary. We said what? OO dash is the plane of the boundary. So this will travel right angles to the plane of boundary, and this incident wave will be written as P1, or we can say Pi, because I have to say incident wave, is equal to A1 e to the power I omega t minus k1x, equation number 1. Now over here what I wrote? I wrote the equation of the plane wave. Now in this case, what is happening basically? Over here we have A1 to be a real constant, okay, representing the pressure amplitude of the incident wave. Fine. Now when the incident wave strikes the plane of the boundary, which is chosen at x is equal to 0, what happens? You get a reflected wave. So what is the equation of the reflected wave? Even that we will write in the same fashion. So I'll write PR is equal to B1 e to the power I omega t plus k1x, equation number 2. Okay, and the transmitted wave which is in medium 2 will be given by pt is equal to a2 e to the power I omega t minus k2x, equation number 3. Now we need to understand important part as far as knowing equation number 1, 2 and 3 is concerned. Now what is this? P is the pressure. Now the reason behind writing pressure in this fashion and not this, because this P is a pressure is complex in nature. Now what do you mean by complex in nature? That whenever it is going to hit a boundary, okay, what is going to happen? Because of the phase change, okay, we are going to observe that the e to the power I theta term will consist of the sine term and the cos term using the de Moivre's theorem. So in this case, my pressure for the incident wave is complex, but this amplitude is real, e to the power I omega t minus k1x. But when it gets reflected back because of hitting the boundary, I wrote complex pressure is equal to complex amplitude, which is complex, and e to the power I omega t plus k1x. Now why plus sign here? Because it is coming back in the negative x direction, and this is minus because of the moving in the positive x direction. Same way here also, one transmitted wave in the same direction, so that's why minus sign. Okay. So PT again complex pressure, but A2 is my amplitude for the transmitted wave and minus sign. So over here, so what we understood, that the transmitted wave, that is PT, always has same frequency, okay, as the incident wave, because everywhere we have omega, okay, incident wave, but the difference between the velocities what? C1 and C2 in this 2 medium, because I wrote here C1, I wrote here C2, and the values of the wavelength constant. Okay, I taught you earlier that the value of K1 is equal to omega by C1 for medium 1 and K2 is equal to omega by C2 for the medium 2 are different. Omega is same, but C1 and C2 or K1 and K2 are different. What is K1, K2? K1 and K2 are the wavelength constant, and what is C1, C2? These are the velocities. So this is the important part we have to understand before deriving the expression further. Fine. Now in this case there are basically two boundary conditions which need to be studied before we simplify the equation further. So what are the boundary conditions we need to adapt? So I'll mention over here boundary conditions. So there are two, as I mentioned. What is the first boundary condition? The acoustic pressure on the two sides of a boundary are equal. This is my first boundary condition. So what is the first boundary condition I mentioned? The acoustic pressures on the two sides of the boundary are equal, and the second is particle velocities normal to the interface are equal. Now in knowing the first condition, okay, the first condition of continuity of pressure, okay, continuity of pressure results from the fundamental law that pressure is a pressure in a fluid is always continuous, single valued and a scalar function. That is important. And for the second condition is equivalent to the requirement that the two media remain in constant contact at the boundary. That is very, very important. Now, as I mentioned just now, that pressure itself is a scalar quantity. So pressure at a point in medium 1 is basically what? Here you have an incident wave, okay, and this is my reflected wave, and this is the transmitted wave. Fine. So this is normal Pi, complex Pi, PR and PT. Done. So what I can say that I said acoustic pressure on the two sides of the boundary are equal. So at this boundary or in this medium 1, we have Pi and Pr, and over here we have Pt. So what I can say over here in short, that Pi plus Pr has to be equal to Pt. Okay, now using this, now what we'll say, that we will use the expression at the boundary. At the boundary means x is equal to 0. Okay, so over here, what is my expression for Pi? A1 a to the power I omega t minus k1x, but I am doing at x is equal to 0, so I don't have to bother of this term. So what I can say, a1 e to the power I omega t plus b1 e to the power I omega t is equal to a2 e to the power I omega t. Getting it? Because x is equal to 0 everywhere, that's what we want to substitute. So what we can write, a1 plus b1 is equal to a2, because this term is common everywhere. I'll just write that and show it to you. Suppose I write over here a1 e to the power I omega t, because x is 0, plus b1 e to the power I omega t is equal to a2 e to the power I omega t. Take e to the power I omega t common, so that will get cancelled everywhere. So I have the equation a1 plus b1 is equal to a2. This is my equation number 1. Or I can say 1, 2, 3, and this is 4, and this is 5. Okay. Now after this, what I said, second condition, the particle velocities normal to the interface are equal. Okay, now means what? We will write first the definition of the particle velocity. What we wrote, ui, which is the particle velocity for the incident wave. So ui is equal to how much? Basically pi divided by rho 1 c. What is happening for ur for the reflected wave? So we can write pr divided by minus rho 1 c1, and for the ut we can write pt divided by rho 2 c2. This is my equation number 6. So after getting 1, 2, 3 and then this 4, 5 and 6 equation, our job is to simplify further and reach to the ultimate expression. Okay, so here I reach till expression with the values of particle velocities for the incident wave, for the reflected wave, and this is for the transmitted wave. Fine. So now we will equate and work further, by which we will be able to reach to the expression in finding the value of alpha r and alpha t. That is our ultimate aim. Okay, we want to find out alpha r and alpha t, which will carry on in my next video lecture. So in today's lecture we have discussed many things, so go through it before we move to the next derivation. Okay, thank you very much. I hope things are clearer to you. Okay.